Hey friends, it's me, Erin, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist with today's Schumann resonance report for Monday, February the 2nd. All right, friends, so here is our graph. Now, I'm going to come back to this, but I want to talk about the thing that everybody's asking me about, and that's the heartbeat graph, because there's some interesting stuff going on there. Here is the heartbeat graph this morning. We still have this amplified signal, but now it's so amplified that it's blacking out the graph. This is not a timeline jump. This is the graph having problems recording the energy because the energy is so high in its amplification that it's coming off the graph. Like, I have never ever seen this in all the time that I've been watching this chart, and I'm telling you, something is going on here. I also want to point out that we have had a total of 26 flares. 5 X-class flares and 16 M-class flares over the last 24 hours from one particular sunspot. That is a lot of sun flares coming off of the sun. That is insane, the amount of energy we're getting right now. And an X8 is nothing to bat your eyes at. As a matter of fact, the last time we had an X-class flare that strong was in May of 2024, just to give you some idea. Now, the thing with these solar flares is not all of them are producing CMEs. As a matter of fact, I think there was only a partial CME from this. Now, what makes me nervous about that is that solar flares and CMEs work together kind of like a pressure cooker. The solar flares are going off, explosions off the sun, and the CME is the ejection of the plasma, sort of ending that solar spot or letting all of the pressure out. If we've only had a partial release of this pressure, it makes me a little bit nervous because it's only intensifying. It's getting more and more and more. Then when you add on top of this the way the planets are moving, and at the end of the month we have this huge alignment of a ton of planets, from what I understand. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. There's an alignment of a ton of planets at the very end of February, I believe on the 28th. There's a ton of planets aligning. Our sun is picking up in energy. The planets are aligning. The activity on Earth itself is really increasing as far as the unrest, not just in the US, but everywhere in the world. Friends, we are building to something. We are definitely building to something. I do not know what we are building to, but I will tell you it makes me feel nervous. There's another sunspot that's rotating around to be Earth facing within the next few days, and it's even more active than this one that's given us all these solar flares in the last 24 hours. The Earth is being bombarded by this, okay? You as an individual, basically a walking sack of conductive material, are also being bombarded with all of this. Friends, I physically feel this in my body. I am having tons of heart palpitations. My brain feels weird and I don't know how to explain it. It's like a prolonged brain zap is all I can explain it as. Kind of like taking cold medicine. I feel very floaty in my head and all these sorts of things. It is very weird. Stuff is weird right now. Back to this graph. When we look at this graph, we've got some very interesting energy showing up here in association with all these flares. When we take a little bit closer look, we can see that about midnight, we started getting these two little lines of energy coming in. And then at about 3 o'clock, look at this very interesting looking energy here. It is unorganized. It is strange looking. It's a lot of green, but red in there as well. And green is us, friends. It is so unusual to get energy from the sun that comes in green in color. That's so rare. And then we have the white up here too. We've got new release and some kind of amplification for us as human beings in here. When I asked about this in meditation, clearly what came through to me was this is an amplification of us, of the individuals on the planet. We are receiving this energy so that we can welcome in what's coming next for us as a species, evolution, or whatever you want to call it. Friends, whatever that you've been feeling is coming. It is here. It is here and is unfolding. Am I scared? No, I'm not scared. I am nervous because I don't know what it's going to look like, and I definitely feel it coming. Things are building, friends. I don't know how else to tell you. For me, white energy is associated with big vibrational feelings, new energy coming in, new ideas. I always want to get up and start working when this energy is very active. Overnight, I was up a lot. And if you're like me, I haven't slept well in the last probably 5 days. This energy coming off the sun is really keeping me awake. I cannot sleep. And when I do sleep, it's for short 2-hour periods. And I have incredibly intense and realistic dreams, as if I'm dipping into other realities, other timelines. Something is going on. Friends, the veil is almost non-existent right now, at least for me and several people that I know. Whatever you're picking up on is real. You have to stop telling yourself that you're making it up just because someone else can't understand it. Here is our Italian graph this morning. It's looking very, very quiet. There are no grumbles on here even that I can point to. And then here is a picture of our beautiful sun. This is the sunspot that's giving us all that activity. This is the sunspot that's rotating around to see us. Here's where we're getting it from versus where's coming around to focus on us. Do you see why I'm feeling a little bit nervous? Here is our magnetosphere. It's nice and full. There is no reduction here that I can see, so that part's doing okay. I have had a couple people reach out to me and say, is an X8 class flare like a Carrington event? Friends, no. A Carrington event was something like an X65 flare. We didn't have this measurement system when it happened, but if you want to equate it, it was something like an X65. It was super, super high, so not the same as a Carrington event. But we have all this activity on our sun, friends, and it is coming around to face us. That's here. This is Earth facing, is right about here along this equator. This is sort of off center of Earth, and this is on the limb. It's coming around, though, friends. There's a lot of activity. As I was telling you, what the man with the white beard told me, I think it was yesterday or last night or whenever it was, is this is an amplification of Earth's own signal. She's turned the volume up. And what I heard this morning was call and answer, call and answer. The Earth called and the sun is answering, sending new information, new energy to the Earth itself and to her inhabitants to help us welcome in this new whatever it is that's coming. February 28th feels incredibly important to me. I keep having that date play over and over in my head, and when I looked it up this morning and saw that all these planets are aligning on that day, okay. I'm just saying, we got to keep an eye out for that, friends. And if you are feeling strange, please understand you are not alone. I feel very odd in my body. I'm very floaty. I feel in and out of this timeline, and I know that sounds strange, but it's happening. I don't even know what day it is half the time, and it's even worse now. If you are having heart palpitations, if you need medical care, please get medical care, but I will tell you, I am also feeling them. We are electrical beings by nature. Our hearts produce electricity, our brains produce electricity, and it makes logical sense that that is affected by large amounts of energy being sent to us by the sun, friends. How it affects you individually is individual. You are an individual frequency, and the way it's going to affect you is going to be individual to you and where you are in your journey. Please do not judge yourself by me or anyone else and where they are. I'm just here to make sure you don't feel like you're alone and you're not going crazy. All right, here's our cards for today. My guides are saying we are headed into a tower moment, a collective tower moment for humanity. This has the potential to create a feeling of instability, disharmony, and overwhelm. However, it is the doorway into the next phase of our collective awakening experience. And as we walk through this door, things are going to start to change quickly. My guides are asking us to lean on our friends. Hold hands with your neighbor and lean on your friends. Do not feel like you have to do this alone, because you are not alone. So again, there is a collective tower moment in the process. This has the potential for instability, disharmony, and overwhelmment. But it is also the doorway for awakening, and things will start to happen quickly. Hold tight to your friends and those in your circle, because working together is how we get our way through this. All right, it's another snowy, freezy day here, but I'm ready to get this day started. Are you? All right, take a nice big deep breath in all the way down and release. Drop your shoulders. Just remind yourself that no matter what happens, you have a choice on how you respond. You are the only one in charge of that. So be mindful of how you respond and what you are giving your attention to. There is no good that can come from getting out of control and start worrying about things that you can't control. Instead, you want to focus on things that are closer and more in your control, and this will help you to feel better walking through your day. And just remember that today is a great day, friends. It's a great day.